Seaside mosquitoes and bow-legged ants. Admission is free. Y'all pay at the door. Pull up a chair and sit on the floor. It's time once again for the world-famous Hartland Hootenanny! Hi, everybody. I'm Ketch, Secor of Old Crow Medicine Show, welcoming you to the Crow's Nest here at Hartland Studios in East Nashville, Tennessee, USA, for the most exciting hour of live stream entertainment you've ever seen since the transformation of American transportation from canals and riverways to hustling, bustling railroads. Our very special guest on the Hartland Hootenanny tonight is an outlaw country singer from the land of Lincoln with a brand new record called Solid Gold Sounds, available on the Easy Eye label. Kendell Marvel is live and in studio on the Hartland Hootenanny tonight. So friends, it's time once again we gather to remember the hum of the rails, the whining of the wheels, and the hollow ring of the whistle. Let her blow, boys! It's Saturday night in Music City, and this is the Hartland Hootenanny. Well, howdy, my friends, and welcome again to this week's live production of the Hartland Hootenanny, that fabulous hour of uninterrupted tomfoolery whose quips and quibbles calm and cool the most querulous of COVID's souls. Yes, this is the still hour come of the sea and tumbling harness, and we, the ever-eager optimists of the Old Crow Medicine Show, wish to invite you to kick back, recline in your Barca-lounger, pour yourself something bottomless, and imbibe in the numbing bliss of another hour of live stream entertainment, Hartland style. Tonight's Hootenanny is a true Gandhi dancer of delight, guaranteed to outdo even the most modern of steam drills or global pandemics. And if you're hearing that whistle, you'll know it's time to get on board and ride, as tonight we go railroading and gambling out on the Corona rails of the COVID cannonball line. Welcome one and all to the Hootenanny, y'all, with our special guest, Kendell Marvel, tonight. Let's kick things off with a fast mail train. Here comes Uncle Dave Macon, hitching a ride on the Tennessee Central with railroading and gambling. Oh, listen what your mama told you 6 months ago. Keep your coat and hat and be ready to go. Oh, railroading and gambling, picking up tickle man. Lord, 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 take a beat out, stand, chicken in the mud, take that, chicken in the mud, ooh. Well, cars on the roadside, cars on the track, spend all my money, ain't no way to get back. Railroading and gambling, picking up tickle man, Lord, 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 take a beat out, stand, chicken in the mud, take a beat out, stand, chicken in the mud, take a beat out, stand, chicken in the mud, take a beat out, stand, stick 'em in the mud, woo. Well, friends, and thank you. Special welcome to our co-conductor on tonight's Commuter Express, the one and only Corey Yance. So, friends, without further ado, this is our Off the Rails Runaway Train Midnight Special, L&N Don't Run Here No More, Santa Fe Line, Golden Spike Driving, Boxcar Children, Semaphore Rising, Water Tower Boiler Refilling, Southwest Chief, and Sunset Limited, bringing in the Georgia Mail, Highball Sioux Line, Burlington Northern, Transcontinental Dining Car Catch of the Day, Railroad Edition of the Hartland Hootenanny. All aboard, everybody. Let's get ready to ride. Well, all right now. Not only is there conductor Corey tonight, but there's also Engineer Jerry, Fireman Jim Lauderdale, and Hobo Joe. We're all riding the rails with you tonight, and here to help us sing. So, how's it going, fellas? Welcome to the Hootenanny. How you doing?
Well, it's going pretty good, Ketch, and we're all really glad to sing for everybody, but you see, there's something serious on our minds.
Corey's right, y'all. Now, y'all know good and well that during these trying times, these things try men's souls. And in the course of our nation's history, people have always rallied bravely whenever the rights of men have been threatened.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right, Corey and Jerry. You see, Ketch, today a new crisis has arisen. See, the Metropolitan Transit Authority, better known as the MTA, is attempting to levy a burdensome tax on the population in the form of a subway fare increase. So we're banding together tonight in song as we speak out, especially for the people of Boston.
Citizens, hear us out. This could happen to you. Oh, let me tell you of a story of a man named
Charlie on a tragic and fateful day. He put 10 cents in his pocket, kissed his wife and family, and went out to ride on the MTA.
Will he ever return? No, he never returned. And his fate is still unlearned.
What a pity.
He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned.
Charlie had it in his dime at the Kendell Square station, and he changed for Jamaica Plain. When he got there, the conductor told him one more nickel. Charlie couldn't get off of that train.
And did he ever return? No, he never returned. And his fate is still unlearned.
Poor old Charlie.
He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned. Now, all night long, Charlie rides through the station crying, what will become of me? How can I afford to see my sister in Chelsea or my cousin in Roxbury? But did he ever return? No, he never returned. And his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned.
His wife goes down to the Scotland Square station every day at 2:15. And through the open window she hands Charlie a sandwich as the train comes rumbling.
Ah, did he ever return? No, he never returned. And his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned.
Now all you citizens of Boston, don't you think it's a scandal how the people have to pay and pay? Fight the fair and Chris, vote for George O'Brien, get poor Charlie off the MTA.
Oh, will he never return? No, he'll never return. And his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned. Oh, he's a man who never returned.
All right. Hey, thanks for singing along at home with our favorite freight hoppers, the Kingston Trio. And now, a word of wisdom to all of our Hootenanny listeners from a loyal and a trusted sponsor.
Absolutely, Miss Bottomley, and thanks again for calling Old Crow Crossing. Yes, ma'am, I'm glad I was able to help you today. Hi, everybody. My name is Robert Road Bobby Price, one of the newer members of Old Crow Medicine Show and a customer service representative for Old Crow Crossing and Casualty. Insurance can sometimes be difficult to understand, and as a multi-instrumentalist, I know that there are a multitude of hazards out there at the crossroads of life. That's why ever since the global pandemic, Grammy award-winning recording artist Jim Lauderdale has been such an important spokesperson for our brand of railroad accident-related insurance, Old Crow Crossing and Casualty.
Thanks, Robert. I'm happy to be here with these knowledgeable Old Crow Crossing and Casualty representatives. Look, I know that customer service is a priority for them. I've been representing OCC&C ever since the start of the global pandemic, when canceled tour dates caused the band to expand into the lucrative railroad insurance market. With Crossing and Casualty, Old Crow guarantees coverage no matter your age or the conditions of your railroad-related injury. Hi, this is Jim Lauderdale for Old Crow Crossing and Casualty. Your message is important. I can't get to your phone call right now, but please leave your name and number, and we'll call you when we can. Beep. The mailbox is full and cannot take messages at this time. Goodbye. Come on, let's take a closer look. Ah, the hustle and bustle of an active railroad crossing. Listen to the sound of the whistle. Feel the rumble as it clickety-clacks over the rails. Now that's powerful. Whether you've been struck by a train because of your own wanton disregard, or you've been train gored or dismembered due to someone else's negligence, OCC&C will cover the costs, no matter the extent or urgency of your medical needs. For just 65 cents a day, less the price of a cup of coffee, you can rest assured Your next of kin won't be billed should you decide unsuccessfully to run a train with your light body sport truck or accept a buddy's double dare to climb onto a moving train. Even playing chicken with the train is covered. And if you're simply drunkenly tightrope walking along a stretch of tracks, coming home in the dark from the bar, you won't be billed, even if your own glaring irresponsibility should result in a train pulverizing you beyond recognition. Yep, that's just the easy and especially important part in this economy. OCC&C Insurance promises your rate will never go up, no matter how desperately the band might need cash to make routine payments to its mob boss creditors. You can trust them. Look, callers are standing by. So give them a jingle and tell them Jim sent you.
Call Old Crow Crossing Casualty. Operators are standing by right now. Hey, all, it's Saturday night in Nashville, and this is the Hartland Hootenanny. Wait for the bell. Keep waiting. Come on, Bill. I don't think it's gonna ring. Ding! Hey, it's that time once again for News on Parade. Yeah, it's News on Parade time when the Hartland Hootenanny investigates what's going on in the hearts and in the minds of the members of the Old Crow Medicine Show, America's Sweethearts. It's also the time that we open up the Pan American mailbag and read your correspondence. But first, our top news item today. As a famous engineer once said, and I quote, "Driving that train high on cocaine, Casey Jones, you'd better watch your speed." You really better watch it. Today's high-speed rails, though efficient and always on time, leave us yearning for those halcyon days of yesteryear, when steam power provided the thrust for America's greatest ingenuities, back in the golden days of railroading, when Nashville reigned as a rail town. And the locomotive that led the way to the zenith of Music City's Iron Horse era was known throughout the South as the Duchess, the queen of the Dixie Line on the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railway. Well, this week we caught up with railroad enthusiasts at Nashville Steam, the nonprofit organization charged with restoring this beautiful relic of Nashville's historic railroading past, Yellow Jacket locomotive number 576. Hey, let's roll the tape.
So that's it, right there. That's the wheel.
That's the wheel, huh?
Well, it's getting to the point now where kids, even some adults, have never seen a steam locomotive run. And a steam locomotive is so animated because all the driving rods are outside and everything's moving. We just want to kind of pass on its heritage. It's a beautiful piece of mechanical, rust to right now. So built in 42, after the war started, is very technologically advanced for today.
You got to know where he came from. There's a lot of things that were here before that helped build this country. If you look at diesel locomotives on trains, you won't understand how far we have come in the name of transportation by rail. There's a lot of different people that contribute to an operation like this. It's a big learning thing for everybody, all different types of people.
We want to bring it back to Nashville and let everybody else see it. We'll have a good time with it.
Well, here we are, old 576 now, about to let the whistle blow. Can you hear it now? Ooh! Roll on into Music City, red hot and ready to go. There we go now, let her blow, boys. Woo! 15 tons of coal. Black smoke rolling from a red smokestack. I watch the yellow jacket roll. Here comes the Duchess. She's the queen of the Dixie line. 576 fast as lightning. All the engineer needed was nerve. The yellow stripe will look like lightning bolts fighting in and down at the curve. Sing up the Duchess. She's the queen of the Dixie line. Now listen, in 42 World War was raging. Uncle Sam put in a call, yeah, boy. Said I need some mainline bustle. I got a whole lot of troops to haul. I need the Duchess. She's the queen of the Dixie line. Putting on a show for the soldiers. Pick up old Roy, Hiccup, and the boys. Grand old life is on the railroad, but it's gonna be a joyful noise. Riding on the Duchess. She's the queen of the Dixie line. Here she comes, boy. She's rolling in the Nashville Red Hot, buddy. Let's slow her on down. So how do we connect with Nashville Steam, and what kind of events you got coming up for us to plug into?
Well, you know, with COVID and everything going on, we can't have visitors in the shop right now, but we are planning some virtual fundraising events that are done online and virtually, so people can follow the restoration, connect through those, donate during those events as a ways to really promote the restoration, help us move forward. We're on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Just look up Nashville Steam. It's Steam in the digital age, so we're proud to be as broadcast as much as we can.
Well, we're just so excited about the work y'all are doing here, and we want to see you get this restored and see it pulling train cars all through Nashville, Tennessee, full of kids and tourists and people like me too.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
Slam the boxcar door. Yo-dee-do-lay, oh-do-dee-do-lay, yo-dee-do-lay, hee-hee-hee. Well, how about that? Special thanks to the hard work and determination of the staff of Nashville Steam. Hey, consider joining their mission and support the restoration of train number 576 by making your tax-deductible charity donation to the Nashville Steam Preservation Society at www.nashvillesteam.org. Well, all right, Corey, let's open up the Pan American mailbag so, we can do what... Hey, what are you looking at? Oh, are you just noticing my new threads? Of course you are, because they're that sharp on your TV screen.
Hey, Ketch. I know what all those hootenanny freight hoppers are out there thinking. They want to know if we've got t-shirt sizes big enough to fit across their wide-gauge Tennessee Central caboose.
Corey's right, folks. If you're one of those heftier rail cars, heavily laden with the additional girth that you've gathered during the global pandemic, then look no further. We've got sizes large enough for those westbound double-decker trains. And for the ladies, we've got your dome cars covered. All right. Hey, now before we break open that Pan American mailbag, I want to remind all of you that if you're looking to catch a ride on that Old Crow bar car, make sure to get your tickets to an exclusive Live at the Ryman experience featuring songs and stories and especially special guests on Friday, September 18th. Check the link in the show notes for more information. Corey, are they going to want to miss this one?
I don't think so.
They're not going to want to miss this one, y'all. All right, I want to hear some of the folks who I look forward to hearing from all week long. Let's see, I want to hear that sound that makes me know the mail has come. It's not a bell, it's not a whistle, it's not a clickety-clack. What's the sound that indicates that mail has arrived in America? That's it. Thanks, U.S. Postal Service. Hey, before we open up the mail, let's see who's tuned in. Oh, look, they're watching in Lynchburg, Tennessee. That's where my whiskey comes from. They're watching in Ontario. That's where my tobacco comes from, and my blueberries. They're watching in Burlington, New Jersey, in Pig Pit, South Dakota, down in the Coyote State. They're watching in the OC, y'all. That's Orange County, California. They're watching in North Queensland, Australia, mate. In Missoula, Montana, in Rush, New York, in Kauai. I'm assuming that's that's in Hawaii. They're on the Chattanooga Choo Choo tuned in, and they're also watching in Scotland, England. Howdy to the staff in McConnell's Bar in County Armagh, watching with beers in hand, having some good fun and crack up there in the Emerald Isle. Well, we're glad you're tuned in. We've got a couple of letters here just to read for you, like this one that comes from our friends of West Palm Beach in Florida. Let's see what they write. Oh, they sent some cold, hard cash. A big 5 spot from our friends in Florida. Dear Ketch, howdy from the West Palm Beach. Every Saturday we watch your show, and we've been here since day one. Use this $5 bill to keep the lights on the Hartland studio. With love, Jacob Robert. Hey, Jacob Robert, thanks for writing. Here's one that comes all the way from Dr. John in Park City, Utah. I wonder if he's the same Dr. John that I know. If so, he'd be writing from Hillbilly Heaven. Here's one from out in the Beehive State with some cold, hard cash. Howdy, Ketch. Kindly remind your listeners that cash tips are the best tips. Hey, Dr. John, you're right. From our tip jar to yours, all the best to the Old Crows from your friends at Mountain Town, where our festival motto is, we weren't too drunk to play, just too drunk to headline. Think about it, y'all. Cheers from Dr. John, the acoustic music of the American West. Here's one from our friends in Kanagawa, Japan. This one comes from Ayaku Mitsumukai. Thanks for writing, Ayaku. This is our first letter that we've ever gotten from Japan, and it comes with some beautiful origami. That's a banjo, I think. Let's see what our friend writes. Dear Ketch, I enjoy watching the Hartland Hootenanny from Japan. Thank you very much for lifting up our spirits in such crazy times. Hope I can see your shows in person very soon. Until then, please stay safe. Best regards from Ayaku. Hey, thanks for writing, Ayaku, and to all of our fans out there in Japan. You should have us come do a live show so that we can sing Sukiyaki. Ue muite aruko. To be continued, y'all. Oh, man, the cash just keeps coming in. Dear Ketch and all, thank you for the Hootenanny. It sure is a surefire pick-me-up every week. I know a lot of work goes into it. We appreciate it, and we send you gratitude from New Hampshire. Thanks, Laura and Mark. Hey, got time for a couple other ones. Oh, look at this lovely card that Laura and Mark sent us from the Granite State. Ooh, here's a package. Let's see. Dear Ketch, howdy from Pflugerville, Texas. Thank you so much for the many hours of entertainment you've provided our family during this quarantine. I hope you enjoy this small relic of old Nashville. We found it at an antique mall in Crossville, Tennessee on our way to Roanoke, Virginia last year. Take it easy, but take it, says Jeff and Devin Laundry. And Margot made a mark with her crepas. Let's see what they sent. Ooh, in addition to this rolled up, perfect for Saturday night. I'll let you think about that. And look, here's a crazy pencil from Nashville. Hey, if you want to write the Hartland Hootenanny, it's easy. And with quarantine providing you ample time for activities such as letter writing or envelope licking or stamp ordering and disinfecting after your mail carrier visits your porch, then please mail your letters to the Hartland Hootenanny in care of Old Crow Medicine Show's Hartland Studios, 711 Hart Lane, Nashville, Tennessee, 37216. Don't have time to disinfect on your way to the post office? Stay home, folks, and correspond with the Hartland Hootenanny on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and ring that bell.
And if you don't want to weigh down your carriage with a big haul of Old Crow merch, just head on over to the link below. Show your support and send that Slack action on up the line.
Well, that's that sound, you know what it means. It's time to go straight to our next special segment on the Hartland Hootenanny, that wonderful bit that I like to call Brighten Your Quarantine with the radiant hues of tonight's very special guest star. Folks, our guest on the Hootenanny tonight is a Nashville singer and songwriter and a tall drink of water who's had hits from everybody from George Strait to Chris Stapleton, and he's got a virtual honky-tonk experience coming up on September 15th and a brand new album in stores called Solid Gold Sounds that's got the badassest record cover I've seen since Lita Ford, or really anybody in Vixen for that matter. I want you to get out and pre-order your copy tonight of this awesome record by Kendell Marvel. Please make him welcome Kendell Marvel. Hi, Kendell.
What's happening?
Hey, man. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, thanks.
Even from this far away.
Well, I'm glad that we're here at this safe distance now. Can you ascertain for me, is that appropriate for you?
I would think that's pretty close.
Okay.
Just far enough from the whiskey to keep me out of it.
Well, yeah. Hey, I'm so glad you came out on the Hartland Hootenanny.
Glad to be here, buddy.
Well, play a couple of tunes for us, will you?
I'll do it. I'll do it. Might have told you that I love you. Might have meant it at the time. Might have promised you forever. Lord, I might have changed my mind. Wasn't nothing that you did or didn't do. Lord, I got a hard time with the truth. I know you wanted to believe me. Wanted me to be the one. I love you come so easy. We'll roll right off the tongue. No, I never meant to make you play the fool. Oh, I got a hard time with the truth. If I'm being honest, it's easier to lie than to go and break a promise, go and make you cry. It ain't like I don't like lying next to you. Just got a hard time with the truth. When I look into the mirror, sometimes I don't like what I see. It's like I'm looking at the devil, staring right straight back at me. I keep praying that one day he turns me loose. Oh, I got a hard time with the truth. If I'm being honest, it's easier to lie than to go and break a promise, go and make you cry. It ain't like I don't like lying next to you, but forever it's just too much to live up to. Yeah, somewhere deep inside you always knew. We had a hard time with the truth.
Wow, Kendell Marvel's rocking it on a Saturday night. Man, that sounded great.
Thank you.
Man, that's spirited.
Sometimes.
You know, it sounds so much like I mean, I was sort of grooving like I'm on a runaway kind of a train, and I wondered, did you grow up with a station in your town? Did you ride?
No, but we lived about a half a mile from a train track that ran through there, and actually we used to. I was going to tell that we used to when they'd slow down because they didn't have the lights there. You know, just crossing, and they would have to slow down through there, and every now and then us kids would jump on one and ride a quarter mile and jump off before they took off too quick.
Well, the train sure brought a lot of coal out of South Illinois.
Sure did. My daddy was a coal miner. Yeah.
And so your dad would come home and he looked like he'd been in the what is it bituminous coal? Is it anthracite? What?
It's coal. I was a kid. I have no idea. He
Was
was
it-
dirty when he came home. I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
Dirty. Sometimes drunk. He'd go to the bar. All the boys would go to the bar afterwards. So then he'd come home, get me up to play guitar and sing songs for him and all of his pals.
Wow, it's no wonder that you have such an authenticity to the way that you play. I can. So you grew up in this region of Illinois that really seems like it's a part of the American South, even though it's kind of the Midwest.
Yeah, I always, I always used to tell people it's further south than Louisville, but it's still above the Manson-Nixon line, as I used to call it. So it's country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very rural, and it's a lot countrier than a lot of places in the deep south.
And when you were a kid growing up, did you have your sights set on Nashville? Had you thought, because it's really about 2.5 hours up to your hometown, right?
Yeah, it's about 3 hours. That's all I've ever done. I mean, that was always there wasn't a plan B. So.
Did you play in all the little roadhouses that they have there, and did you play the casino in Metropolis?
No, I'd already moved back down here at the time that casino was rocking, but I played all the joints around there. Closed a lot of them down.
Well, it's beautiful country up there too,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of horse country up there too, there's some rock climbing too, as I recall.
Sure. Yeah, in the Shawnee Forest right there, around Cave and Rock, all that area down there. That's pretty country. Pretty treacherous, really.
Yeah, deadly, you might say.
Could be, yeah.
Now, your times in Nashville, you've been here for quite a while, but you've made a transition from being more of a songwriter to now doing your own shows.
Yeah, I wrote songs for a living for a long time, for 18, 20 years, something like that. I was content doing that, and then, country music just took a shitty turn, and I just couldn't make myself write. I couldn't make myself try to get on the radio or write the kind of songs that I had to write.
So was it frustrating when elements of pop music moved into country, and you feel like you couldn't feel that?
I mean, the pop stuff really that wasn't my bag, but it was just the bad. There's bad music and there's good music, and we just went bad for a long time. It seemed like to me, or it seemed like everybody done the same song. Everybody wanted to write the same song. Everybody wanted to sing the same song. I was like, it was all about short shorts and tailgates and bonfires, and I'd done that when I was a kid. I was like, I can't relate to that anymore.
They got some short shorts up there in South Illinois, don't they?
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Probably shorter than most.
Probably. Yeah, I would think so.
Well, Kendell Marvel's with us here on the Hartland Hootenanny. It's Saturday night, and he's got a brand new record called Solid Gold Sounds. The record was produced by Dan Auerbach, right?
It was, yeah. Him and Dave Ferguson. Yeah.
Oh, and Dave Ferguson.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. Two worlds colliding. A rock guy like him and a country dude like me, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, I want to hear another song off of your new record, Solid Gold Sounds.
Well, I was going to do a train song. You want me to do a train song?
Yeah, would you do a train song for us?
I was sticking. I can do either one, but I was going to stick to the theme. And
get on board, man. Kendell Marvel with us on the Hootenanny. Let it roll.
Well, look yonder coming down that railroad track. Yeah, look yonder coming down that railroad track. It's the orange blossom special, bringing my baby back. Talk about a traveler. She's the fastest train on the line. Colorado Rambler. She's the fastest train on the line. She's orange blossom special, rolling down that seaboard line. Yeah, I'm going down to Florida and get some sand in my shoes. Yeah, I'm headed down to Florida, gonna get some sand in my shoes. I'll ride that orange blossom special and leave these Music City blues. Well, look at yonder coming down that railroad track. Yeah, look at yonder coming down that railroad track. It's the orange blossom special, bringing my baby back.
Oh man, I love that one.
Thanks. That's a good old one, and I knew it was a train theme, and I was like, man, I better work up a train song.
Yeah.
I knew Jim was going to. Jim beat me to the punch. I didn't.
Well, he's been known to beat some punchlines.
He
that
sure
one.
has. He sure has.
So you haven't done a lot of work here in the past little while, like I haven't, like all of us haven't. What are some things you're looking forward to as the global pandemic, we hope, runs its course?
Well, just more of this. The camaraderie. In our business, that's it runs off of camaraderie. In my world, it does anyway. Face-to-face songwriting. We've been writing over Zoom and FaceTime and stuff like that, and it's working, but it's just not the same as doing this.
Yeah.
In a room, drinking a little whiskey, drinking a beer, and hanging out and shooting the breeze, and it's just different. So I'm looking forward to getting face-to-face and being creative again. I'm looking forward to going to gig. I didn't realize how everybody, when you're busy all the time, you're like, man, I need a break. I need to stay at home. Well, we've had a break, and I'm ready to get I'm ready to get back after it.
Well, what about your virtual honky tonk experience on the 15th of September?
September 15th.
Yeah. Tell us everybody back home about that, because I want to find out.
It's we've been doing it for several years now, and it's a little show we do. And we've had special guests, me and my band, and we've had everybody from Alison Krauss to Jamie Johnson and Foo Fighters. Just about anybody's played it.
Wow.
Of course, we need the Old Crow guys to come play.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jim, I've asked him a couple times, but he never returns my call anymore.
Come on.
But
what's up with that dude?
it's just a show we do, and we do our music, and then the guests come up and do whatever honky tonk covers they want. You don't have to be honky tonk. That's the experience part of it. We can do, Southern rock and roll, whatever you want to play.
You do it at your house, or?
No, we do it at the Exit Inn. We've been doing it for years, and I guess this is would have been our 4th year of doing it. Long enough that they put my name on the wall up there. We sold some shows out, and they finally put my name up there. They knew I wasn't going to leave until I did, so I guess they was like, God, put his name up.
And God bless the Exit Inns.
Oh, them places, man, are suffering. And
Yeah.
it's, I play a lot of those. I don't know if you guys still play those kind of clubs or not. But,
We sure did play the Exit Inn quite a
yeah.
few times.
But man,
for Billy Block and the Western Beat.
Oh yeah,
God
yeah,
bless.
yeah.
Remember Billy Block?
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, that times are tough. Times are tough. If it hadn't been for the songwriting, people like us that write our own songs, we'd really be in trouble. So I feel bad for the people who just are performers, because you're just out of luck right now. So it's tough times. So support. I always say support musicians and them clubs. Man, we got to keep those clubs alive. I know they're trying to pass some laws right now to help them, some amendments to help them stay on their feet, get them some money, because we got to help those places stay alive.
Well, you guys can help support live music tonight by taking home a copy of Kendell Marvel's brand new album called Solid Gold Sounds here on the Easy Eye Sound label. This is how we make our living, is selling records now, because we can't come to your hometowns. So y'all go home and download this wherever good records are sold. Where you like to buy your records here in Nashville?
I like Grimey's.
Grimey's.
Yeah.
Well, order this one from Grimey's, and I hope to see you out there on the road when Old Crow and Kendell, the Masked Marvel, get together in the post-COVID era and make some merriment out there in parts near and far. Thanks, Kendell Marvel, for being on the show tonight, man.
Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Come on back real soon and see him on the Hartland Hootenanny. Y'all take home this record with you just as soon as you can. Man, it looks good, too. I got to show him the picture on the back as well. Man. Or you're going to scare him into buying this record
Hell
now.
yes. If you don't like music, just you'll be scared into buying it. That's right.
Memorable and at times menacing. The one and only Masked Marvel, Kendell Marvel, here with us on the Hootenanny tonight. Don't forget to sign up for his virtual honky-tonk experience coming up on September 15th at 7 p.m. Well, that certainly was a steam-powered performance on this exciting railroading edition of the Hartland Hootenanny. Hey, who's ready to listen to the rhythm of the rails in tonight's All My Tales Are Tall segment? Where did my hot sauce bat go? Oh, here she is. Now, train days. Glorious train days. The all-through-the-night rattle of serpentine motion, the whistling, the steaming, the hulking, dripping, and throttling, the sensational bucking of that iron horse who kicked us into nationhood, and America's closest incarnation of the fire-breathing dragon, slain only by the vanity of a people who wanted their up to the minute to be up to the second. The ones who said 2.5 days was too long to wait to cross a continent that it took 40 million years to build and 40,000 years to populate, they wanted to do it in hours. Now, I grew up with the legend and the lore of the railroad, and you did too, because we all did. Every American has a railroad spiraling through their national DNA. Every American holds within them the delight of a ticket in their pockets, the promise of a shot at better fortune somewhere down the line. Every American holds the awe and esteem, glory, laud, and railroad honor, and yet two are equally displaced, bypassed, mistreated, worked over by that same callous iron road. Call it railroad indifference. That one man should shovel the coal and another should sit comfortably, reclined in the parlor car. That one town should have a ticker tape parade for the locomotive's arrival, and another, instead of thundering wheels, should hear only the dry rustle of Russian thistle. That one tribe should stuff their pockets with railroad fortunes and futures, while another should find their people directly in the crosshairs of the cow catcher. Oh, you cruel steel cacophony of fire, heat, water, and wheels, wherefore wilt thou roll on through starry nights of pastoral expanse, through emerald glass cityscapes of leisure, through smokescreen hells of industrial furnace? All I ask is blow one short blast on your whistle for me. Tonight's All My Tales Are Tall celebrates the legend and the lore of America's national mode of transportation, the glorious railroad. How many great songs are there about airplanes? Jimmy Dale Gilmore singing Dallas from a DC-10 comes to mind, as does Arlo Guthrie's Coming In From London From Over the Pole, flying in a big airliner. But no matter how fast and furious and no matter how low cost and on time the friendly skies are, airplanes somehow give us very little cause for singing. Why not? Like trains, aren't they shiny and sleek and pulsing and full of the promise of distant lands, greener pastures? And like trains, don't they have a thrilling history full of famous pilots and memorable names like Kitty Hawk and the Spirit of St. Louis and Wiley Post, and perhaps most importantly, deep in our national psychology, after all, like trains, aren't airplanes equally phallic in their American symbolism? And yet I can think offhand of only 7 or 8 songs about airplanes, while there are literally hundreds, thousands of railroad songs we could be singing right now. But I know the secret why there are no good songs about airplanes, and yet there perhaps someday could be, because all you need to forge a new genre in the canon of American song is to mourn a subject's loss. So, all you engineering types out there, if you want future American voices to sing songs like, I've been working at the airport all the livelong day, then all you need to do is invent a new mode of transportation that sidetracks American aeronautics and leaves us all mourning those humming silver birds that used to sail through our skies. See, we sing our railroad songs because the railroad was sacrificed to the gods of aeronautics. We sing of the railroad because our favorite songs are always laments. And the railroad that ran its course all the way to the scrapyard provides permanent lamentations. Even for present and future generations who never knew a railroad or a train in their lives and never will, aside from at the zoo or in a video game or, ironically, at the airport, even they know railroad songs. Because songs about the railroad, like a kind of ghost dance, summon the powers of the dead to cloak us in immortality. The L&N may not run here anymore, but its legend gives our lives that shiny railroad patina that makes us feel that somewhere beneath our predictable behaviors and well-rehearsed lines that there is a howling madness of stoked-up potential dragging slowly away from all the chains that hold us back until we are cut loose to rumble onward, blasting through the night, glorified, menacing, and free. Come all you rounders if you want to hear the story all about a brave engineer. Casey Jones was the rounder's name. On the 6-8-wheeler Boise won his fame. The caller called Casey about 4:30. Met his wife down at the station door. Mounted to the cabin with his orders in his hand. And he took his farewell trip to the promised land. Casey Jones mounted to the cabin. Casey Jones with his orders in his hand. Oh, Casey Jones mounted to the cabin and he took his farewell trip to the promised land. I've been to 2 different museums, one in Mississippi and one in Tennessee, that purport to tell the story of the life of the engineer Casey Jones. And they're both wonderful places, and they both do a great job curating the tale. But for my taste, I prefer the song, albeit rife with inaccuracies, over the true story. I found it almost always to be this way, that when it comes to story, I prefer legend. And when it comes to song, I prefer mythology. I once sang for a group of school children at the Parthenon. Well, not the real Parthenon, but the one made out of concrete we have here in Nashville. Down West Avenue at Centennial Park, the green space our city built for its grand 19th century exposition and fair. A place that calls itself the Athens of the South, you see, needs some kind of Grecian validation, and in lieu of any snow-capped Olympus to divinely intervene, necessitated its own old world christening, and thus, in an affair foreshadowing of future music business dealings, created the world's greatest Parthenon tribute band, finally completed a century later by a 4-story statue of Athena. It was while I was sitting at her feet, her big toe larger than my banjo, that it dawned on me that singing American folk songs at a replica of one of the world's 7 wonders is a fitting locale for a singer who prefers myth to fact. The kids sprawled in front of me, fidgeting with their backpacks and being shushed by their teachers, knew about as much about ancient Greece as they knew about railroads. But some songs need no prior understanding to be relevant. Like little Nike perched spry on Athena's shoulders, we just accept the twists and turns of certain tales without doubt, without hesitation. I remember telling them that just like the statue of the Greek goddess behind me, that the locomotive which backed up to the northern edge of the Parthenon, the steam engine called the Duchess, train number 576, had been something of a legend in the lore of our city before it was retired to the grounds of Centennial Park. I asked the students, "Do you know any legends?" At this, several basketball players were mentioned. My question is a little different. I'm wondering if you know about any legendary figures whose actions may have delved beyond the human realm into the mythological. A girl raised her hand at this, and she said that she had a dog at home who they all thought was dead in the road, but it was really just sleeping. Yes, I said, just like that. A legend can be something that you think is dead, but it lives on. And then I shared my favorite American legend, one I believe is assured an eternal place in Valhalla or Olympus or wherever it is the gods go to drink their wine and make love once their heroic earthly deeds are done. And then I began to sing. When John Henry was just a little baby boy, sitting on his mama's knee, he pointed his finger to a little piece of steel. He said, "That's gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord, that's gonna be the death of me." Well, some say he was born down in Texas. Some say he was born up in Maine. But John Henry was born down in Roanoke, Virginia. And he rode a steel driving cane gang. He rode a steel driving gang. The captain said to John Henry, "I'm gonna bring that steam drill around. I'm gonna bring that steam drill out on the job. I'm gonna walk that steel on down, Lord, Lord. I'm gonna walk that steel on down." John Henry said to the shaker, "Shaker, you'd better pray, 'cause I drove 900 pounds from my hips on down. I'm gonna hammer till my dying day, Lord, Lord, hammer till my dying day." The sun was hot and it was burning, and there weren't no breeze at all. The sweat run down just like water from a hill. The day John let his hammer fall, Lord, Lord, the day John let his hammer fall. John Henry, John Henry. At this I said, "Kids, someday perhaps there will be a statue like Athena here, but instead it'll be for old John Henry, the man who beat the steam drill. I think he'd make a great statue." As I reflect now, I see there's a lot of statues been erected, and recently some of them been coming down. Some came down that maybe shouldn't, and many that never should have been erected in the first place. I don't know how to say who's supposed to get a statue and who's not. How come Athena got one in Nashville and not, say, John Prine? Or how about if we put one up for Justin Townes Earl? Or any other singer who, like John Henry, left this world too soon, when there was still work to be done? I don't know what the prerequisite is for statuedom. It seems like you gotta command an awful lot of troops to get one. But I wonder if the more deserving candidates are the ones who walk the tracks at night, who never commanded much more than a room, and whose legend lives in hearts instead of history books. I've seen the statue of Casey Jones in 2 states, and both times it was just a piece of concrete. But the song, now that's hard as steel. We, the Americans, have our own mythologies. Our legends so often are simple souls who only stumbled into greatness after striving to survive, who operate on instinct instead of glory, and just did the best they could. Singers like Hank Williams remind us that we'll never get out of this world alive. But make no mistake, we the singers are immortal. Sure, you can sidetrack us and pull up our rails and wrench out our golden spike when our cross ties go to rot, but we shall return. And the distant rumble of our ghost wheels shall haunt this world forever and ever. Amen. How quickly time flies when you're having fun on the Hartland Hootenanny. Don't forget the Old Crows will be playing our first full show since pre-pandemic on September 18th at the Mother Church, the Ryman Auditorium. We'll be streaming the show and we'll have some very special guests to join us. The tickets are only $10 at ryman.com. That's just about all the time we have for you here, but we want to thank tonight's very special guest star, the one and only masked marvel, Kendell Marvel. Thanks, Kendell. We can hardly wait to hear your brand new album, Solid Gold Sounds. Hey, folks, we hope to see you all again next Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time when we once again raise a ruckus live with our special fabulous guest, Amethyst Kia. Wow, that's gonna be a good one. Well, until next week, keep following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Throw a couple silver dollars into the pickle jar if you can spare it so that we can get them flattened on the steel rails just over the hill here at Hartland Studios. We'll see you next week, and until we meet again, God bless, be safe, take care, wash your hands, wear your mask, look both ways at a railroad crossing, and lift your feet for good luck. Oh, and one more thing, so long, it's been good to know ya.
So long, it's been good to know ya. So long, it's been good to know ya.
So long, it's been good to know ya. Our railroad celebration is almost done, and we've gotta be drifting along. Oh, there's coal in the tender, and the drive wheels are humming, and the throttle is open, and the pistols are drumming, and the fastest train rolling on up around the bend is the COVID locomotive that derailed our land, singing so long, everybody. So long. We had a great time. So long, it's been good to know you. This railroading special is almost done, and we gotta be drifting along. Woo, woo, woo. That's all the time we have for you on the Hartland Hootenanny tonight. We appreciate each and everyone so much out there. Thanks for your years of love and support for the Old Crow Medicine Show. And know that without your steadfast friendship, we'd probably all be dead or in jail by now. So thanks for keeping us out of the clink. And in the pink, folks, we love you. We really do. We also love tonight's guest star on the Hartland Hootenanny, Kendell Marvel, and his new record, Solid Gold Sounds. Who else do we love on the Hootenanny tonight? We love the Sunset Limited, the California Zephyr, the Coastal Starlight, the Silver Meteor, the Ben Franklin, the Ethan Allen, the New York Central. We love the Crescent and the Cardinal and Jim Lauderdale and the City of New Orleans. We love the Empire Builder, the Southwest Chief, the Pioneer, and the Silver Star. We love our friends at WMOT Roots Radio 89.5 and our pals at BMP Audio, Ben Manila and Jenny Cataldo. You can listen to us tonight on Roots Radio 89.5. That's all the time we have for you on the Hartland Hootenanny, but we'll see you next week, and until then, y'all stay safe and happy. God bless and take care. Wash your hands and don't touch your face. Keep your distance. Stay positive, optimistic, hopeful, healthy, cheerful, motivated, groovy, untethered, wild, free, liberated. Good night, everybody. Good night from Nashville, Tennessee.